You ever use these and things go flying? You have no idea where they went? Yeah, big problem. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Matt's Models and More. Got something a little cool today. Did a little bit of research. Also going to use some of my techniques that I use to help me with very small parts. Also did a little bit of shopping. Went to Hobby Lobby today. Found some really cool things. Not in the model making aisle, but actually in the jewelry aisle. Go down the aisle where there's beads and jewelry and all kind of kits there. So we're going to talk about some things to really hold those small pieces in place. And I'm going to go through probably 5 or 6 different things to help you hold on to your small pieces so they don't go flying all over the place, if you know what I mean. So let's switch cameras and let's look. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is pretty obvious, tweezers. And not just any pair of tweezers. Really find some good miniature model making tweezers, and they have all different kinds. I mean, I have some that are curved. These are cheap. I got these out of a cheap kit when I first started doing models. Had those for a while. They have some that have the automatic pinch, so if you put something in there, it'll hold it. That does make things convenient when you're trying to be real precise, but these are still a little chunky. But if you get some true, these are, where's the name on here? See if you can see that. These are true precision tweezers here. I mean, the point on these things are phenomenal. And they actually touch, because a lot of these tweezers out there, if you buy them cheap, they do not touch. They bend out. I actually got these in Simpsonville the last show from a vendor. He had a really good price on all of them. Of course, I negotiated a little bit, but invest in a good pair of tweezers. I cannot stress that enough. And try to keep glue off of them, because that will ruin them faster than anything. So that's number one. All right, number two. Some of this stuff is basic. A lot of this you already know, but I'm going to have some things here in a minute that you probably are like, oh wow, didn't even think of that. So just hang in there. But toothpicks is another one. This is for our noobs out there that don't know. Toothpicks can do so much. Not only do they help putting glue on items, put your glue on a little palette, barely touch it, touch the area you want to glue. You can be, super precise with that, but also for painting, because what I'll do is if I have something like this or even smaller and I can get to the back of it, I will use my electric drill, which, man, this could be a whole video in itself, but definitely look into them on Amazon. Comes with a lot of different drill bits. They're all magnetic. They pop right in there. I've only had to charge this thing once. And you can get super small, especially for when you're doing plug wires and stuff. But here's what I use it for if I'm doing parts like this. I know it's a spot that's not going to be seen. That's the front. I will drill a little hole and make sure not to go all the way through. And then I will take the tip of the toothpick, put that in there, hold it super tight. Now I can do any kind of detail painting on it or put it in the paint booth, and it's not going anywhere. And you don't have to worry about that hole on the back, because it's never going to be seen. You're going to glue right over that. So toothpicks can be super handy, not only for things like that, but we're going to jump in right into number 3. What is this? Look at this thing. crazy, right? That is beeswax. That is in the jewelry aisle or jewelry making aisle at Hobby Lobby. I think I'm going to impose a video here. You'll see it as I'm talking. But I saw this today, picked it up, and I know beeswax works because you can use wax pens. Wax pens are phenomenal as well. Could not find one at Hobby Lobby, so I was like, well, let me do this. Get your toothpick, run it right through there a couple times, and you'll be able to pick up the smallest pieces. Let's slide one on over here, something like that. Let's run it through there again, and then you'll be able to pick up the small pieces. Sorry, I wasn't hitting it right, but that beeswax acts as a wax pen, so it's no different, and it doesn't hurt the piece at all. So you just run that through there a couple times, or you can even, poke it in there directly, but it will definitely help you pick up pieces. This is a round piece, so it's a little bit more difficult, but matter of fact, we'll jump into number 4 for this, because this is going to really make a big difference here. Number 4 is, we'll play the video for it real quick. This is a what they call a jewelry pick, and it comes in 2 different sizes. You have a top and a bottom. One's a little bit bigger and one's a little bit smaller, but these come in so handy. I actually showed this on a Facebook. I got this backwards, sorry. On a Facebook post that we had. Not very expensive. I believe it was $4.99. The video will show that. But you have a much bigger end here. And what this is a sticky plastic coating. So you can pick up pieces like this, and it's much better than the beeswax. And the other cool thing about this is if it gets dirty, all you have to do is rinse that off, let it dry, and it's sticky again. And I haven't had to clean it up yet. So if you're trying to get into a tight area, you would just put it in there, maybe use another tool or a pair of tweezers. So when you get it in there, you can kind of release it, and then you got it in place. So again, this is a lot easier to use and more simple, and it's about the same price as the beeswax, but having to use a toothpick or even another tool to make that work, this is just another tool. But honestly, this right here does the trick, because you also have, that's the bigger end, you also have this end, which is a lot smaller. That's way more precise. So if you were, oops, that was my fault there. I actually pushed that. I need to find that piece too, because that's part of my engine that I'm building, but you can see just how small that is, but it holds very well. So that's another tool I recommend getting, because this is probably my number 1 go-to, because right now I'm working on a 3D kit that I got from mcvproducts. Shout out to Matthew. I think this is a 527 big block with the blower. So it's got a lot of these little pieces. Oops. So these come in handy when you're putting together all this little stuff like that right there. Those 2 pieces right there and that. So definitely looking into that. Hobby Lobby. All right, so let's get into the next one. All right, next one. Another Hobby Lobby find. This is called a beadsmith. And what this is, it's sticky on both sides, but this is a bead mat. So you can actually put any kind of jewelry or anything on it and it won't go anywhere, and it's sticky. I don't know if you can see that. It's nice and sticky. So no matter where you put it, it's going to stay. But the biggest thing is your pieces. So you got a lot of small pieces on here. They're not going anywhere. They're sticking on there. And it certainly makes it easy to handle these things and even move them without them going anywhere or anything. And this is, I think, the same material as that jewelry picker. It's that sticky formula, and if it gets dirty, if it gets dust on it or hair or anything else like that, all you got to do is run it through the water and get it off like that. So One thing I haven't tried to do is, because I just got that today, is try to pick. Oh yeah, comes right off super simple. And the whole mat is sticky. It's not just the gridded area. It's actually everything. I mean, that thing right there is amazing. So definitely say get into that. I should have had a video there pop up. If not, I'll do it right now, showing you where that was in the aisle and how much. But super cool. Between the jewelry picker and this, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those handling small parts. So on to the next one. All right, next one, it more relates to painting. Gotta put something in the booth, and it's super tiny, really no way to hold it. You don't want to hold it with tweezers, of course. You don't want to mess up your tweezers to paint something. So these come in real handy. These are at Hobby Lobby. You can get, I think, 100 or 200 for $1. Super cheap. But what I normally will do is I will start that way and then kind of come back around the opposite way so that the sticky side is showing. And now you got basically a tool to hold your small parts so that you can paint them. And if you're not even doing this in the booth, it comes in handy to hand paint because it's not going to go anywhere. So if you're using a marker, I do this a lot with my acrylic markers, especially if I'm doing small black pieces. It's so easy to do that. Let it dry, peel it right off, and then you can use this a lot. It'll stay sticky for a long time. But that in the spray booth or hand painting small pieces just comes in super handy. That's not a new trick by any means. That people have been doing that for a long time, but that's just another one to keep in your bag. So the popsicle stick video, I should have showed that, but that's definitely one to keep in mind. So very easy to use there. Okay, let's talk about gluing tiny parts. So this is what I mainly use. This is a BSI. It's a fast setter or accelerant for CA glue. It's you're supposed to spray it, but that makes such a mess. And this has kind of an oily texture to it, so it tends to hang around a little bit. It does not hurt your paint, which I've noticed, which I love, because if you use something like Star Bond accelerator, it will definitely hurt your paint. Don't use that stuff for anything in modeling because trust me, I've done it, messed it up. Star Bond is something used a lot in the woodworking community, so I had some out there, so I said, let's try it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It sucks. Matter of fact, it will actually eat up plastic. There's something in there that really hurts the plastic. But this is safe. This is made for modeling. But what I'll do is I'll actually get one of these fine tip applicators. These are at Hobby Lobby as well. $2.99 for a pack. It's got the really precise filler, and you can bring it just to a tip. So if you glued something super small, like these two pieces, let's say you were gluing those two together, you can put a little drop, a tiny little drop on a toothpick, and then just touch it on there and it will dry instantly. So no having to wait 10, 15, 20 seconds or keeping it held together. That's just another tip too. Just put your accelerant in a fine tip applicator from Hobby Lobby, super cheap, makes it easy. I keep it right next to my CA glue at all times. And yeah, I'm using the BSI Mexicure as well. So those two are my go-to, and they sit side by side. This goes back on the shelf. And my last little tip for handling small pieces is a good pair of magnifying glasses, or a magnifier light, which I have one as well above me. But these I made. This top piece comes with a kit that I got on Amazon. It comes with the big white headgear that you look like a mad scientist wearing it. It's very uncomfortable. It's top heavy. You got to flip it up and flip it down. So I kind of made these myself, but I kind of wanted to show y'all because it's super simple. These pieces come in the kit. You get different magnifications, 3 times, 10 times, 15 times. I think there's 8 or 9, maybe even 10 different ones in here. But what I did was just took a cheap pair of Dollar Tree reading glasses, took the lenses out, and glued with CA glue those to that. And I know they look funny, but when I'm wearing them, I can't tell the difference of, wearing a pair of regular reading glasses, but I can see through lady skirts if I wanted to with these things. They're super powerful and so much more comfortable to wear, um, to see all those little tiny things. So just a quick little tip, very cheap to do and way more comfortable, like I said, than wearing those big old hunking white things that you get uh, on Amazon. So that's pretty much it for this video. I know there's other ways of doing it, and y'all may have some excellent things out there. So please drop it in the comments and let me know. Of course, all of us, this is a community, so we want to help each other. Hopefully there was something on here that you weren't aware of that may help you, and I need some help as well. So let me know if you know something better or easier. But a couple of these things I really like, such as the sticky pad and the jewelry picker. Those are probably my 2 favorite things. Beeswax, probably a close third. Just something cool to use with a toothpick. And all of that stuff is cheap. So really no excuse not to get it. Will definitely make, working on your models a lot easier. And I can't wait to start working on them again, because my last video about being angry, I'm over that now. So I'm having fun again. I put that model up. I'm working on something totally different. I don't know if you saw on my desk, I got a Vega. That's what I'm working on. So pretty cool. Just want to let you know before I let you go, I did get 3 more sets of wheels. Let you look at these real quick from Jay's Resin. These are more retro mod style, deep dish in the rear, and the skinnies in the front. He gives you brake calipers and rotors with every set of wheel, which is pretty neat. There's some more. I always like the spoke wheels. I think the spoke wheels look really good when you're doing something like a muscle car or something. But those are the ones that I got recently. And the only thing I don't like about Jay's Resin is he only does 1-piece wheels. Matt at mcvproducts, he does a lot of 2-piece or 3-piece wheels. Makes it so much easier to paint, especially if you want to do, a double or a tricolor. Definitely makes it easier for you to handle. But just wanted to show that off real quick, and let me know if you have any questions. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the comments and suggestions that you give me on my last video. They were all helpful, and I'm listening. And I hope to see a lot of y'all in July at the Charleston show. So please come up and say hey to me, and let me put you on a video. Let's talk and get you on video. So like, subscribe, and please share it. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know about Matt's models and more. And until next time, keep on rolling.